Hello, ladies and gentlemen, dude and dudettes. I am Matt Burns, and once again, I am back. We are back. I'm also back with my partner in crime, the man who keeps me sane somehow, to a degree.
Good God, I can barely keep myself sane, so that's a revelation and a half. Hi, everybody. I'm John Bloor, the small voice of reason,
Also known as JB.
Sanity, also known as JB, your host with the most randomness.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just say this. We are back this week, and
Yes.
in case a lot of you are probably thinking to yourselves, welcome back and everything, but what the hell happened last week?
Yeah, you're probably thinking that, and you'd be right too, because as you were painfully aware, the airwaves were left without our carefully considered meanderings last week.
Yep.
So, Mr. Matt Burns, would you like to let them know why?
As you may have noticed on the actual post that we actually put out, I'm just trying to recall it here from memory.
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just recall if you try, I will simply get the Burning Truth up on Instagram.
I've already got it up.
Well, you would.
Of course I would. Basically, last week, as we said, we had some unexpected personal reasons and everything. Now, a lot of people may or may not know that both of us have our own busy scheduled lives. Yeah. However, at the same time, I believe you were quite pre-engaged yourself.
Last week, yeah, I had a very, very busy work schedule and 1,001 other things going on. Family stuff.
Yeah, and
so that conspired to mean that, as much as I love coming on to the airwaves and talking about wrestling, I just couldn't.
And the main reason why we didn't have an episode, because you're all probably sitting there thinking, well, if Bloor couldn't do it, you normally do it, don't you, Matt Burns?
You normally do it on your own, like a legend. And no, he couldn't last week for legitimate medical reasons.
It wasn't just medical reasons, in all honesty, because as long-time fans of The Burning Truth, if you know from my past, I have got an eye condition known as uveitis. That a lot of you are probably sitting there thinking, if you are a long-time fan and you know about this condition, you probably would have said, oh, hang on, weren't you all clear of that? Yes, I was at the time. However, I've had a re-flare-up that had actually occurred.
In much the same way that I'm sure wrestling fans can understand, Roman Reigns' leukemia occasionally can flare up again and does. Even getting the all clear doesn't necessarily mean with this that it's gone forever.
However, I'm not clearly stating that my eyes are just as...
No, I'm simply using a medical condition as a counterpoint. I'm not saying it's as bad either, but, it's a similar sort of thing. The all clear now doesn't necessarily mean the all clear forever.
Correct, exactly. And another case with me using myself again, some of you may know I'm actually a type 2 diabetic as well.
Yes.
But that's not in question at the moment because, yes, I got it I got the type 2 diabetes in remission. However, I had a flare-up on my uveitis, and in which case it didn't just cause me issues in like fatigue, because a lot of you are probably saying, well, you can still talk, and to be honest with you, it was only mostly I've got it in both eyes, but it was only in one eye. It was affecting me, as in predominantly, which is how it works. All I'll say to you is, if you want to look it up, you can, but please at your own discretion. I will just state that because it's not something you want to go into thinking, oh, I'll look into this condition because it might be pretty. It's not.
It's really not.
It's not. But anyway, that aside, it wasn't just a factor of me health. At the same time, it was more so for my mental health side as well. I wasn't exactly in the right place of mind in regards to it because I was a little bit not feeling my usual joyous self. And on top of that, because of the situation with my eyesight being affected during the week, I hadn't actually been able to catch up much on the current events of wrestling. So on top of that, I didn't want to just come onto an episode half-heartedly where I'm conscious of my own self-well-being, while also droning in something, talking about a topic that, for that week, I couldn't really talk much of the current news. Okay, we could have done some past stuff, but
yeah,
I wasn't exactly enthusiastic massively, as you can probably imagine.
I get you. It was a case of, the enthusiasm was somewhat not there because, you couldn't really see and...
Add one out.
Yeah, and so, the ability to actually keep up...
Yeah.
...was minimal, and so, therefore, the motivation wasn't 100%. We totally understand that.
Pretty much. And that's the best way for us to explain it.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time,
yes,
that's all right. I'm just looking on the announcement post that was mentioned.
Yes.
And for some unknown reason, I believe I've actually put out a bit of a mistake saying Super Sunday or something.
Last week.
No. It wasn't. It was due to borderline health, personal reasons.
Okay.
It was. It's all right. It's just something just didn't add up last week. I had just seen that it says on next week. Yeah, it's all right. I believe we called it a Super Sunday special.
Yeah,
this week
because we were going to make up for the fact that we hadn't actually.
I was just making sure I hadn't done a mistake on the post. It's all right.
No, that's fine.
Anyway,
that's cool.
Let's continue on. But anyway, the point being is another reason. Well, there could have been an additional possible reason if I was told on last week sooner, but we'll get to that later.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
But anyway, that aside, we've rambled on too long. Shall we get on to the usual audio disclaimer?
I think that would be quite useful. Oh, wait, hang on. No, that's me. That might be quite useful. The following broadcast will contain discussions about professional wrestling, which both in content and the descriptions thereof may use language which is not suitable for younger listeners, listeners of a sensitive disposition, and other listeners. This broadcast may also contain strobe lighting effects.
Yeah. Basically, this last time we were on, not last week, I almost slipped up there.
Last time we were on, well, it's the normal thing, isn't it, last week? So you're allowed the odd mistake.
Yeah. Right. So, last time we were on, we managed doing a whole episode without a soapbox.
We did. Trust me.
Are we going to get it? Are we going to get it again? Are we going to get it again?
Trust me, no one was more surprised than us, and this week, unfortunately...
Oh, good Lord.
No, we're not.
No, we'll get to that. The reason why we're going to have a soapbox later. But anyway, you've done the usual audio disclaimer.
Yeah, which is just basically our way of saying, occasionally, especially if there's an episode with a soapbox, we do use strong language. We try and warn you in advance. If we do... like a couple of minutes before we do it, as well as at the top of the show, but we don't
try.
Always. They might slip through the net, so if occasional strong language is not your bag, you have been warned.
Yes, but anyway, our usual. So with that, Our usual typical message that we follow is that with Black Lives Matter and speaking out is still in effect. Just to point out, meaning if you have any feelings in regards to if you're being affected by these topics, as in Black Lives Matter and hashtag speaking out, in a more direct response, as such. If you get what would you care to explain? Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Basically, anyone who's been directly affected in the by the Black Lives Matter, and we're not on the opposing sides of it, as such, and wants to voice an opinion in regards to the topic or how it's affected them, they are more than welcome to air it on the Burning Truth as such.
Yeah.
But no accusations to be thrown or anything like that.
Yeah, all the usual. If you've got an accusation, please take it to the relevant authorities / a lawyer first.
I'd say report it to the relevant authorities is the best message that we can provide to you, as we're not going to be having any accusations on the air as such, because one thing we don't want is anything being, we're not going to be getting caught mudslinging.
No, not if we can possibly help it. Absolutely not.
As such, and let's just say this. One of the topics that we just mentioned, one of them that we just mentioned, is going to be re-brought back up this week.
Yes, it is. Very much so.
But we'll get... so, anyway, shall we get to the list of what we're going to be talking about?
We can do, if you so wish. Yeah, I think that's probably about the right time.
Yeah. We're going to be basically explaining about... why something that normally would happen on this episode isn't happening. But we'll get to that shortly. We're going to be talking about hashtag speaking out a little bit more. Because some developments have happened during this week.
Yes.
And today. We've then, of course, got to talk about Retribution.
Oh, God, do we have to? I mean, yes, I'm afraid we must.
Breathe. And we've also got to talk about the Hurt Business.
Oh, dear. Again, we absolutely have to. I'd rather not, but...
There's some ups and downsides to the Hurt Business, but we'll get to it. We've then, of course, got our epic
moment of the week.
Wrestling moments in wrestling, epic wrestling moment to discuss for this week. And then, of course, as the last topic, we've got a bit of a discussion to do with the future of the Burning Truth.
Indeed.
But
which we thought we'd save till the end because, it's the most important and all.
And then probably cover next week's topics briefly.
Just briefly, yes.
But anyway, there is one topic we've missed off, and there's a reason behind it. And unfortunately, it's not a pleasant one.
No.
Would you care to start us off?
Oof. Are we talking about the thing that happened this week?
Yep.
I don't really know what to say, other than it shouldn't have come to this, but about time, I think.
Whoa. No, not that.
Oh.
Not that one.
No, we're not talking about that one. Okay, then.
Not that one.
Hold that thought, folks. Hold
that thought. I'm on about the topic that acquires additional equipment in my hand.
Additional equipment in your hand? Okay, I'm lost now.
This week. What a rush.
But of course, yes. We are talking about the sad news of the passing of Road Warrior Animal. Which is, frankly, it's nothing that anyone wants to hear, is it, really, to be honest? Nobody ever likes it when someone dies, especially when it's someone who, like in our case, we have grown up idolising quite a lot. But
massively.
It can't be avoided. Father Time comes for us all in the end.
A lot of people will turn around and says, "Well, that's the Road Warriors. That's it. There's no more." Well,
Not
quite.
technically accurate, no. As far as the original team that was formed in America goes, yes. But...
Wrong.
Really?
Wrong.
Is that so?
Yeah. A lot of people forget the manager.
Oh no, I meant in ring. Yes, obviously a lot of people forget Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering. By the way, the point being is, Paul Ellering put out a message and everything. It is a sad day today that we well, not today, during the week, in regards to the passing of, the road warrior animal, and as such, with it, LOD comes to, as in the actual tag team itself, as in the competitors. Ooh, what a rush! Yes. And we are going to be doing a 5-bell salute in regards to it, and condolences to his family, his friends, and colleagues.
Indeed, so.
However, before I get to the 5-bell salute, I've got an additional name to add on to this, and a lot of people are going to say, when I mention this name, he's not a wrestler, or what's he got to do with wrestling?
And anyone that says that, study your history books a bit more carefully.
Oh, it's not study your history books. Look into the person I'm going to be mentioning.
Your history of wrestling, I meant, but yeah, okay, generally.
He's not in the realm of history of wrestling.
Oh, is he
this
not?
Is a personal shout out from myself, personally.
Oh, damn it! Yes, sorry.
Yes, no. Yes, because during last week, as I mentioned, I did state that if this news was revealed before the episode, definitely would have brought an end to an episode at any rate, regardless. Yeah. Unfortunately, a friend of mine by the name of Kane Bentley had actually passed away on that day.
Yes.
I haven't been informed of the circumstances. However, the outreach and response in his passing has... It goes to show how much one person can be loved.
Well, yeah, quite.
Generally. In case if anybody wants to know why there hasn't been a post about, I have put a post out personal on my own personal page, as in my personal page, as such, and I thought I'd do more of a justice on the Burning Truth, and a lot of people would say, well, he came to UK, people who know him say, he came to UKWA. Yes, he did come to UKWA, but I didn't want to just jump on the bandwagon of saying, oh, he was a UKWA fan, or he was a fan of this. He wasn't just a UKWA fan, he was a fan of wrestling as a whole. And was one of the most genuine and most amazing fans I can genuinely know, and one of the most decent human beings.
On top, a decent human being on top of the fact that he, rivaled us two for knowledge of all the little arcane corners of wrestling that casual fans would just be like, why do you know this stuff? But of course, us being us, we understand why it was important.
He also had quirks to himself, basically, he'd somehow defend some bad movies in such a way, and actually could argue to the point where he can actually make you think, is it actually a good movie?
He'll make you walk away from the conversation going, is it really that bad?
No, was it really not that bad, really? And make you rewatch it, and then somehow you find out the truth.
And usually, if you're me and you're a hardline cynic, you're like, I can see exactly what he's arguing about here.
But no, it's still a bad movie.
Yeah,
it's still terrible.
You can't blame him.
It makes you rethink it.
For having the ability to make you rethink. That's not everyone can do that.
Exactly. And on top of that, he was one person who I will state was genuinely is going to be missed, because he was one person who went out of his way to basically, he could bring a smile to anybody who needed it whenever they needed it.
A rare gift, and which means he'll be missed.
So with that, here comes the 5-bell salute for Road Warrior Animal and Kane Bentley. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, both of you. You know, I'm one of those people who's of that certain age. Yeah, I'm sure many listeners will be pointing at their listening devices now and going, yeah, old. But that's not the point. Where I don't think about the historical or biblical references or anything like that of the fact that he was called Cain. The first thing that I think of when anyone says that name is a bloody huge bloke in red with a mask on.
You take it as
and
a
I
compliment.
just thought I'd share that to lighten the mood a bit in this
Would take that
trying
as a
moment.
He would take that as a massive compliment, but as we say, genuinely, they will be missed by their family, friends, colleagues, and anyone who knew them.
Indeed.
So with that, condolences. Right, moving on to our next bit of topic, which is a topic that was originally meant to be discussed on this episode, which was predictions.
Yes. Due to our innate ability to make a 5-minute conversation topic last half an hour, due to our, bouncing ideas off each other, talking over each other, all the wonderful things that make The Burning Truth the show you love, we didn't think we'd have time to include them in the show today.
Pretty much.
The predictions, of course, which are for... Hang on, where are we? It's Sunday, isn't it? Yes. Tonight's
Yes.
Night of Champions pay-per-view.
What?
You heard me. Night of Champions.
Rephrase that, please.
Rephrase what? Night of Champions.
Get it right. Get it right.
What's wrong with it?
It's not Night of Champions.
You mean it's not the night where all 16 of WWE's titles will be defended in one super crammed mega show of title belt glorious gold shininess?
There's a lot of championships that are being defended on tonight, but I don't think all of them are.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's Clash of
Champions then, is it?
It's Clash of Champions.
Oh, it's not the WWE pay-per-view where every title is defended on one show because that's the gimmick of the show. It's the WWE pay-per-view that has the word champions in it. That's the rip-off of the old WCW idea.
I believe.
Yes.
I'm just double-checking on it, just in case that...
Just WCW champions or something.
Just to see if all champions are being defended or not. Because I've just suddenly just had that shiver down my spine.
I don't think by saying 16 championships, I don't think they'll all be defended because in that I think I was including things that obviously won't be, like NXT championships and the 24/7 championship. But the main 8 or 9, I think most of... I just remember from when I sent you the message, which you've put out on social media for the predictions,
Yep.
Intercontinental and US are... Both tag teams are...
Both women's are.
Both women's are, I think...
Wait,
is it
no.
one or both of the main heavyweights are?
Both of them.
Both. So, we are pretty much the women's tag team titles away from a full set.
No, it is. It's all of them, including the women's tag.
Ah, bloody hell.
What the hell?
And if they have a skit where somebody wins the 24/7 title on the pre-show, it is indeed
Lord.
a full house.
Now that you've just said that, that's happening.
Yeah, it is. Because, WWE's most silly and off-the-wall, and therefore some people think pointless title, which I actually really enjoy, the WWE R-Truth Championship, will probably be defended.
Have you seen who is the current champion?
Have I? Yes. Yep. Because, guess what? I have just got it on my particular screen. And so I haven't actually seen. I've literally, as I said, yes, I was just scrolling to the bottom of the list.
It makes it even worse.
And would it be, by any chance, the current holder of the WWE R-Truth Championship?
Yeah.
Is R-Truth.
Yeah.
Now in his 39th reign. No,
is
that is not an audio typo. 39th.
Is it his 39th?
Yes. And he won it 22 nights ago on the August 31 edition of Raw.
Yeah, pinning Akira Tozawa.
Akira Tozawa, who has had, for a combined total of 7 days, 4 24/7 championship reigns.
Yeah.
And when was the title first? Let me see. The title was first minted about, a year and a bit ago?
I think. And to make it even worse,
yeah,
we've had it over...
May 20, 2019, and R-Truth is the 107th reign.
Yeah. 107th reign.
Just to put that into comparison, what's the NXT Championship been in existence? Is it 8-9 years now?
I think something like that.
And I think Finn Balor's second reign is the 15th.
I think, yeah.
It's a different reign amongst, I think, 12 different people.
Yep.
Just a quick look at both ends of WWE's schizophrenic booking policy. 4 championships there.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. But anyway, the reason why we put out a post with the predictions on social media.
Yes, we will discuss the aftermath and how well we did next week. But
and
we figured
why we picked
post. Sorry?
And why we picked them next week.
Yes.
But the reason why we're not doing it this week is simply because of time.
Yeah, time constraints. As we said, that whole thing about the 24/7 championship took 5 minutes, but that would literally be one match out of the 10 on the card that we'd be going through. So we just didn't think that you'd want to sit and listen to us for 4 hours solid, especially bearing in mind you've got to eat something and then there's a pay-per-view on tonight, you know?
Yeah. On top of that, yes, we also did promise on the last week's post we were going to possibly do an extra special episode.
This is a special episode, but we're not Vince
in the
McMahon.
content.
It's in terms of the content. We're not Vince McMahon. We don't think Raw is now 33% better because it's 3 hours.
Fuck off.
Yeah, we have some semblance of your tolerance limits.
Just go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Anyway, we're going to have to push on to the next subject before I lose my mind.
Yeah.
And, oh boy.
Speaking of losing your mind, is this actually going to make it come a little closer?
This is to do with a certain topic that we cover every week.
Topic that we cover the 24/7 championship? We just
No. It's something that we discuss. Well, we mention about every week, and it's usually straight after our audio disclaimer.
Hang on. The soapbox is now a feature in its own right.
No, hashtag speaking out.
Oh, right. Okay, you didn't even let me go through my big long list. And
I'm taking the time.
You didn't let me shoehorn in Booker T's Room of Candles either.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You need a damn Room of Candles.
Well, it's not even Booker T's anymore. I've told you, Aleister Black took over the lease and he's keeping it tidy and he's doing a good job, actually. And he pays his rent on time, so I can't complain.
Yeah, with one eye as he keeps attacking Kevin Owens.
Yes. But anyway, yes, we are talking not about Aleister Black's Booker T's Room of Candles, but about hashtag speaking out, which basically is not a one-line throwaway joke that I never thought would have this much life on the broadcast. It is a genuinely serious matter, so let's get our serious trousers on, shall we?
Pretty much, because a lot of people are sitting there saying, As we haven't been mentioning about hashtag speaking out. We've always brought it up, and we've always put out a pointer of it. Now, hashtag speaking out has been brought to not just to we know that it was aired on the internet. It's been brought to WWE's attention. This is how serious hashtag speaking out has gotten.
It has got so serious, ladies and gentlemen, that it has escaped the bubble of professional wrestling.
No kidding, in a big way, because a lot of people are thinking, who knows about this? What's going on? Yes. Now, you know how serious it is when Parliament are bringing it up in discussion.
The UK Houses of Parliament, that hotbed of discussions about topics that, no, I'm not going to go there. They discuss important things. Let's just leave it at that.
And in case anybody wants to know where this source has come from, I'll gladly mention it, it was by a sort of TWM Wrestle. When I've actually even put a post out in regards to it, I've even tagged them in it and made sure to even give them, basically that, the link to their page where they revealed it. Not only have they revealed it, they've also brought up the clip where they actually do discuss it. So you can actually have a listen to and see for yourself.
Have a listen to people in the UK House of Parliament actually discussing the topic, which frankly is something that it needed. Because it was in danger of just sort of being, everyone said anything, but it's going to kind of peter out now, which is the last thing we wanted. So the increased exposure is, I think, I don't know, it remains to be seen if it actually is, but it seems to be a good thing.
Speaking, just remember what you just said there, because that's going to nicely segue into the continuation of this conversation, actually, because that happened on Monday. Remember, let me check that out. It was happened on Monday. It was put up on TWM Wrestle, I believe. Well, they put it on their Twitter on Monday, but it was actually up on their thingy, I believe Wednesday or Thursday, or Friday, I believe. But we've only just posted it out today.
Yes.
But it's almost been an entire week. However, today, I wonder if anybody's a fan of BBC Sports.
BBC Sport, I will give you a little aside there. I am a huge fan of BBC Sport. It's how I found out about a certain thing which I will mention after this feature when we're being slightly less serious, that gave me infinite joy and will give Matt Burns infinite rage. There's a little segue into the next bit after hashtag speaking out.
Yeah.
But yes, BBC Sport, a very useful and informative website and app on your phone.
Mm-hmm. BBC Sport has actually brought it up. Hashtag speaking out. Today.
Impressive stuff.
There's actually discussions with some of the female wrestlers who have been affected by the situation and names being given.
Well, frankly, as long as it's in the case of, like we always say for online stuff, only in the case of proven situations where it's been run through by the legal department, and trust me, the BBC will have done that, and it's getting names out there, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're also raising discussions of ideas of what to do going forward. Some of the ideas, great, I'm all on board for, if that is the direction that they're going to be pushing forward to. But I'm not going to say which ideas are. I'm going to let you jump onto that for yourselves.
Absolutely fine. This is one of those sort of homework sessions of the show where
it's
deadly serious, so we're going to let you research it in your own time, with the disclaimer, of course, that it may contain things which you or indeed other people may potentially find upsetting, but we are not responsible for the content of external links. But please look it up.
I would upgrade it from may to most likely.
Yes. But we want to give you that warning, but we don't want to discourage you from looking it up, because
far from it
needs as many eyes on it as possible.
It's one of them. It's not a pretty subject, but
it's one that needs.
It's a discussion that needs to happen.
Yes, so we're very grateful that it is. So
and
I think without actually talking about it, we must leave it there because we can't really say a great deal more. But
no, we can't.
We strongly encourage you to look it up in your own time.
just pause for a minute, and this is from me personally.
Yeah,
Me personally, as being a wrestler and a promoter, I will state this: if anybody brought anything towards me, I will be taking it very seriously, and it is something that I do look into my own roster and do keep a check on things. And if I ever caught anything out of place, I will be massively questioning it and hopefully progressing it further. But some of the topics in discussion that were mentioned on the subject, as in to give more power to be able to get more of a voice, and also be able to bring a stop to the nature of the subject.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
Absolutely. Speaking
100%.
of as a former wrestler as well, not promoter, but wrestler and commentator, yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And on top of that, it is a subject that if it was ever brought to my attention of any wrestler who I any wrestler, whether I know them or not, I do take very seriously as such, and it doesn't fall on deaf ears.
Absolutely.
But anyway, with that being said,
yes. But just as an aside, by the way, yes, the BBC Sport app.
Yeah.
Very useful for finding out about my hapless bunch of morons football team's 97th minute equaliser against yours this afternoon.
VAR needs to be rechecked, is all I will say.
VAR stands for very appalling refereeing. All it does is underline that fact.
Take into account, yes, I understand, you got to draw.
Yes. That, I'm sorry, but hello, honest football fan here. We didn't deserve, because I don't think we had a shot on target till the 85th minute.
And it should have been 5 to 6-0.
Well, if your team were on form and actually burying the chances that any other weekend they more than likely would have.
Yep.
Yes. Hashtag grateful they didn't. Hashtag we'll take the point and run.
You do that.
You've been our bogey team for the last 3 or 4 seasons. You always seem to sneak it like 1-0 or something. So we'll take a point and run. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah, I think he'll do that. But anyway, yeah. Let's just say as I watched it, every Spurs fan was pretty much. Anyway.
Yes.
Let's move on. Because I don't want to have a soapbox on a non-wrestling subject.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
And we'll more about that at the end of the show. But no, I'm sorry about that laughter, but I've just moved away from the Burning Truth Instagram feed, which I had my phone on from earlier when I was looking at message from last week's show up, and I happened to come across the Instagram of, well, it uses his real name, but hey, that's kayfabe and we don't break that. The Instagram of Braun Strowman.
Oh, good Lord.
And of him folding himself, shall we say, into a Lamborghini Huracan. And once there, looking like an incredibly large mackerel in a very small tin. And the caption is, and this is why I will never have a Lamborghini. Hashtag enjoy the laugh.
Hashtag the lad side of wrestling.
Hashtag Lamborghini, just enjoy the laugh. And
I will say this to you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. I thought the mood needed lightening somewhat. And
it did need it. It did need it, especially for the next subject.
Yes, because we've just come out of an awkward subject, lightened somewhat by the football for me, but not for you. And now we're going into another awkward one. So, yeah, just a little brief moment of clarity and lightness wouldn't have done us any harm. But now we must talk about the next subject. Which is
the polishing.
Oh, it's shiny. It's almost like the Rock's got it ready to turn it sideways. It's that shiny. Don't you worry about that. I am, of course, referring to the soapbox because the next subject, Matt Burns, is...
Retribution.
Oh, dear. Whatever deity you happen to believe in. God, Muhammad, Jesus, whatever it is. Oh, dear them. Where do we even start with this shit show. Oh, other than to say, warning, strong language may be imminent in the next 5 minutes. If this offends you, look away or cover your ears.
I wouldn't
now.
even say 5 minutes.
At the very least. More likely, could be as much as half an hour, knowing how we're known to get away from ourselves.
I don't even think half an hour. I think it's probably... I think the language may even start in the next few seconds.
Yeah, no, the point is, I don't know how long it's going to last, but the start is literally as soon as I finish speaking here, when Matt Burns begins to mention, well, frankly, everything about this farce of an angle.
Right. The idea of Retribution is to be an invading force. Fine.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. When they first started it, yes, that's great. And then they did something really fucking stupid.
Straight off the bat, already, literally like 5 minutes in, everyone was just going, okay, yes, I think I can possibly get behind this. And then everyone had the rug pulled out from under them straight away.
To make it matters worse, yeah, having them all feuding against the entire whole thing of, of having them fight against the whole WWE, great idea. I'm on board with that. Keep going. Now Retribution is no longer on SmackDown and it's Raw exclusive. Why the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. They're not what you might call law-abiding or anything like that, Why don't they just turn up wherever they feel like it? Hell, let's just randomly have, for, a couple of weeks on NXT, let's just have them turn up and kick the ever-loving crap out of some NXT people until their locker room empties and they get chased away,
And then
keep us on our toes, but no.
And then to make matters worse, and this is the infinite bit about it, to make it worse, they somehow keep going above on the roster. Somehow keep going advantage like, oh look, I'm coming out doing this, fighting, you're getting away with it. Ooh. It's like,
it's almost
how
like
stupid can the roster be?
Green flagging them and saying to them, cause carnage now! In a limited and budgetable way.
Right. And what makes it even worse is, I feel genuinely sorry for the 5 major members in this group.
Yes. All of whom careers may never recover. Don't get me wrong. Don't even get me started on the masks because, oh my God.
Oh, no. This is even worse.
Masks for a reason, people.
Right. Oh, no. They were wearing masks anyway. And they're talking really gravelly. And as soon as they spoke, we knew who they were.
Of course we did.
I'll go through their names shortly.
Oh, you mean their new names?
I'll let you. We'll have a little game, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll have you mention their real name, their current roster. Well, what should be their current roster names, and I'll say what their names are.
The absolute abomination of what WWE now wants us to refer to them as.
Right, shortly. But what makes it worse is Retribution are serious threat. Why is it that they were that much of a serious threat that WWE have somehow given them contracts to wrestle on Raw?
Yeah, I know. They're taking over in an official, budgetable capacity, and don't you dare smash anything that we haven't authorised you to smash beforehand, you naughty boys.
So now they've got an official contract.
Yeah.
So, what? How?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm having a brain aneurysm. And what makes it even worse, I've got to say something right now. And I know somebody who's probably listening in is probably know it's coming. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Where's my monster? For God's sake!
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. Where's my monster? But, no.
It makes so little sense.
Here's my brain.
The fact that I'm sat here going, no, I'm having a brain fart. I cannot work out what they were thinking.
Saying
what were they thinking doesn't make it any clearer. It's just like, My brain is dribbling out of my ears.
Pretty much.
Nonsense.
What makes it worse is the fact that I just had a brain aneurysm while rambling randomness.
Yes.
Because of it.
That's how
bad it is. And then they top it off. How? How do they top it off? Oh, we're going to reveal them by having them pull off their mask to reveal another mask.
Genius. Oh, sorry, did I say genius? I meant fucking stupid parody bullshit that's been done to death.
So a mask within a mask. What's going to be underneath that mask? Another mask. It's my exception. But anyway,
yeah, it's very silly. Oh, and yeah, so the setup has been questionable. The mask thing is already undermining the potential, as is the fact that they're already exclusive to Raw, and we haven't even got to the names yet. I'm sure WWE would rather we didn't say this, but the people who are involved in Retribution have names. Names you will know them by.
Names that you've already got them marketing for. Names that some of them are actually been using still on fucking NXT!
Some of them have t-shirts and stuff with their names on.
Which can't now be used.
Yeah.
At all. And it makes it even worse. Do you know how bad the situation is right now?
Go on.
It's not just the public laughing at the situation.
No, it's other wrestling companies.
No, it's the locker room.
Yeah.
The locker room itself is making mockery of it. And probably someone's going to say, they're mocking him because they're against him. Yeah. No! This is dumbass stupidity at its finest. You know It's something wrong when you've got to, bless one of them for actually trying to battle against some of the hate on Twitter and actually trying, but it's just no. But anyway, would you care to name the names of the wrestlers that are involved? And as you mentioned their names, I will mention their Retribution name.
I would just like to point out, by the way, that it is patently obvious who every single one of these people are, to the point where I am reading this, because I couldn't remember all of who was in the faction, from an article on metro.co.uk. That is the free newspaper that they circulate on trains and in train stations in the UK.
And I would know the names off by heart.
Yes. But just in case anyone wasn't sure, the poor sods who drew the short straw in the office game of who wants their career killed by this bullshit are Dominic Dijakovic.
Now known as T-Bar.
As what, sorry? Teabag?
T-Bar.
Teabag?
I think T-Bag's better than T-Bar.
Hi, I'm a mask-wearing villain and I shove my balls in your mouth. Yes, it actually is better than what he actually has to do, but never mind.
He's now known as T-Bar. T-Bar!
I just want to put that in everyone's minds forevermore. Teabag.
What makes it even worse is, I actually wondered if they're actually trying to mock Disney by saying, I've come to T-Bar? Or Toboggan? Is it meant to be Toboggan? T-Bar? What the...
Is it mocking Sheamus and Cesaro? Is it supposed to be bar? Is it supposed to be a Yorkshire version of the place where you buy alcohol?
And this is the first name!
Yeah, this is bad.
This is the leader, supposedly.
The man who has been in WWE developmental to the reaction of everyone but WWE live audiences of who?
And has also been on the commentary team.
And was on NXT commentary for about 6 weeks.
And WWE commentary. And Raw.
Most people went, oh, that's an interesting voice. He sounds quite a lot like other people who were on commentary. Okay. Dio Madden.
Who was also on Raw.
Yeah.
He was also on Raw.
Except... Oh, no. His name's not Dio Madden anymore.
He's now known as Mace.
Mace, as in the overpriced corner shop where you go to buy your Cornish pasties and your Coke when you can't be able to go to the supermarket.
I don't think
if you live in the UK.
No.
And
Mace is
also
in.
nasty stuff that you spray in people's eyes if you want to scare them off.
I think I think they actually try and go for more of the weapon, mace.
Yeah. Mace spray.
Oh no, an actual mace, which is an actual. I think I'm just trying to think what sorts, during the
it's
night
like a sort
round.
of club as well. It's kind of a bit like that thing that.
But if I'm not mistaken,
kind of a bit like that thing that Lump Venezuela carries with him. Oh, sorry, no, not Lump Venezuela. Ridge Holland, that's it.
Yeah. Well, you
that
mean the
thing
bat
that he
club?
carries with him is a little bit like that. But yeah, anyway.
No. I'd say that's more the third name, and we get to it shortly.
By the way, copyright the burning truth for that. His name is now officially Lump Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Because I couldn't remember Holland, so I just got another country. There you go.
Oh my god! Even though we could probably put you through the canvas. But anyway, point being is, Dear Madam is now Mace.
Of 5, it gets worse from here.
Right. Then we get Mace, right? What makes it even worse is, isn't there a rapper by the name of Mace? Or
But his is spelled with a C, and the rapper's is the thing that makes the S sound is a $ in his name. So that's legally different, so they can get away with that.
Okay.
Okay, we're rolling. Next is... Oh, dear me. Hey, love, you know how much we're misusing your husband now he's on the main roster? How would you like to join him in shit gimmick purgatory? That's right, Mia Yim. We've got a slot with a crap mask for you. Except you're not going to be allowed to be called Mia Yim anymore. Wait.
I thought you were going to go for the third male, but we'll get back to that.
For last.
Oh, you're saving that one? Oh, right, okay.
I'm building up slowly. I'm saving the worst for last.
Oh, thank God. All I'm saying to you is, Reckoning is her name. Reckoning. Now, everyone's saying...
You're in charge. No, that just doesn't roll off the tongue.
What makes it even worse is the fact that a lot of people are sitting there thinking, why Reckoning? And how long have WWE had that,
It does make you think, like I think it did to us when we were discussing it before we came on air. Rejected late 90s pay-per-view name? Much?
I think that's the other one. I think that was more the other one. That's coming up.
Okay. You think that was more what poor...
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Mercedes Martinez has now got to be referred to as.
Yeah.
She's literally been on NXT 5 minutes, kicking everyone's ass, and then, oh, hang on, no, we're just going to feed you to the Australian woman with the, looks like Cruella de Vil, because she needs to be built back up. So you might be our biggest thing, but no, you're going to lose. Mercedes Martinez. How to pull the rug out from under her career that quickly.
Right. What makes it worse is... Wait. Oh no, we've got to get back. We've got to get back to Mia Yim yet, because we've got to talk about Reckoning. A lot of people are thinking, oh, how long have WWE had that copyright? Guess what? A while, because if I'm not mistaken, didn't WWE have a game on the GameCube called Day of Reckoning, and even had a sequel? And guess what? It didn't do as well as what they wanted.
It's probably going to do about as well as WWE 2K20 did. It's probably going to do about as well as WWE Crush Hour did. Obscure game fact fans, look that shit up and thank me later.
What makes it even worse is the fact that, actually, Day of Reckoning was more successful than WWE 2K20. Anything is better than 2K20.
Seriously, Project Cars 3 is more successful than WWE 2K20, and Project Cars 3 is basically taking a perfectly acceptable Forza Motorsport 7 simulation rival and turning it into Need for Speed Shift.
However, we could make a topic of that on the Burning Truth, but we'll say that again for discussion.
We'll save that
later
towards the end of this week's broadcast. But anyway, yes, as if those two rejected 90s pay-per-view names weren't bad enough. That's four of the 5.
No, 3.
Oh.
3 of the 5.
Said what Mercedes Martinez's name is yet?
No, we haven't yet. We haven't even got to that.
Oh, Jesus.
We haven't even gotten to that. Because, ready for this, ladies and gentlemen?
Mercedes Martinez, nice name, kicks ass, yeah. Not anymore, sucker. You will now be referred to as...
Retaliation.
It's kind of like they just opened a thesaurus and stuck a pin in it.
which is more
Also a failed pay-per-view name, but
failed. I actually think it'd be a successful pay-per-view name.
This coming from a company that had a wrestling pay-per-view with a car theme called Fast Lane. Yeah, it would be infinitely better than that.
Retaliation sounds like,
yeah,
get your own back.
But it's right up there with Vengeance and Backlash and Judgment Day. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? I think it would have probably fitted in with all of them, to be honest.
Exactly, that's my point.
But it never was. And now poor Mercedes Martinez has it around her neck like a big lump and albatross.
And what makes it even worse is you've got T-Bar who tried to explain why Reckoning is called Reckoning.
Who, by the way, I'm sure would like to have been called T-Bone, but a certain NXT UK superstar by the name of Tyson T-Bone probably went, I don't think so.
Yeah, pretty much. But T-Bar is probably just now thinking to himself, I'll defend Reckoning, or should we say, me as him?
Yes. Oh, yeah, but we've now revealed the names of 4 of the 5 people involved.
Right. So, retaliation. What makes it worse is... Wait. What makes it even worse what makes it even worse with retaliation is the fact is, what the fuck is she retaliating against? She's just arrived!
Yeah, retaliation against what? It's a little bit like when they first arrived in 2012, was it? And their opening salvo was, "We are a shield against injustice." What injustice? You've literally just walked through the effing door. What injustice have you possibly suffered? You morons. You haven't thought this through.
What makes it even worse is...
Don't get me wrong, the awesome people involved in it and the angle that they gave them meant the Shield worked. I have no such hopes or fortune for this bunch of... Oh, dear me.
I feel sorry for these workers. And what makes it even worse
I really
is...
do.
Are the writers for the names of these the exact same one that decided to go, let's rename Chad Gable to fucking Shorty G?
No, because that was just bloody... That was in its entirety a Karen boring brain fart that nobody in writing had the spine to actually come back to him and say, no, mate, that's shit.
I actually think they probably took that. He said it. They thought it was funny and said, "Oh, let's run with it."
Unfortunately, you're probably right. But anyway,
to make it even worse, we've got the last name to come to.
Yeah, we have saved the cream of the crap for last. I am sure, as we speak, our good fellow broadcaster and not close personal friend of the show, because we've never actually met, contrary to how it occasionally appears, R.D. Reynolds over at WrestleCrap.com will be having a fucking field day with this. Gooker of the year 2020, folks. It's a shoo-in. It's a shoo-in, let me tell you.
I'm waiting for it to be on Botchamania, OSW Review, and WrestleCrap.
All of the above at once. WrestleCrap Gooker of the Year 2020 shoo-in. Because the man who immediately after the team TM61 split up, when the other half decided, fuck this for a game of soldiers, I'm going back to Australia so I can work in Japan because I'm homesick, briefly referred to himself as the worst, as a genuine gimmick, as in he was the worst person with that name ever, and he will drag you down to his level and beat you with experience at being crap. Anyone remember that gimmick that lasted all of about 3 weeks on NXT?
I'm just now.
Guess
just
what?
Now.
They've come up with a worse one than that for him. Oh, yes. I don't know which gods of professional wrestling or WWE booking Shane Thorne has pissed off, but my God, he's picked the biggest and the ugliest one by the sounds of the name they've given for this shower of shit. I can't even bring myself to say it. So, Matt Burns, would you like to say what the previously quite marketable, snarky Australian Shane Thorne now has to refer to himself as and keep a straight face? Because I can't do it.
He is now known officially as Slapjack.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? Slap nuts!
He is now known as
Slap nuts!
Jack.
He's going to go around wearing god-awful garish gear with about 8 braces and nailing people with fake guitars.
No, I wish it was that. What makes it worse is the fact that he's now known as Slapjack. He's now wearing a hockey mask that literally looked like from what CM Punk put out on a post. What Shane was doing when he was waiting in catering with plastic plates.
To be honest, CM Punk has been more creative in his criticism than me. I just thought that he is basically what Rene Mad Dog Ramirez from Arrow looks like when drawn by an 8-year-old.
Oh my god!
It could be worse. At least
however,
he hasn't got what Mankind would have looked like if he was into S&M and bondage job that they lumbered Dominic Dijakovic with.
And Mace.
Yeah. Oh, dear me.
The
whole thing is just...
We've got to stop saying Dominic Dijakovic. And I think the only plausible reason I can think of changing the names is because they probably just didn't want to keep saying Dominic Dijakovic because someone can't pronounce it.
Long-winded.
Or someone couldn't pronounce it and just thought, let's go with T-Bar. And didn't want to single him out, decided, let's change everybody else's name because we don't want to offend him.
And unfortunately, they couldn't go with an abbreviation of his actual name, use his initials or anything.
Go for it.
They couldn't just call him Double D or DD because that would just remind everyone what a massive bunch of tits the people booking this are.
How? They couldn't even use his nickname.
His nickname, his catchphrase is Feast Your Eyes. His nickname is The Rare Breed. There's plenty to work with here. Fucking Teabag is not any of them.
T-Bar. It's T-Bar.
So it's Teabag, Retrospective, Dominatrix, Slapnuts, and what's the other one called?
Fucking hell.
And WWE are trying to push this faction.
Oh my god!
To Nexus. Oh dear.
I thought this was going to be more of a rant episode, but instead it's not bad. It's just I'm laughing at it.
You've got to, because if you take it seriously, you'll go insane. I just feel sorry for the poor bastards who've got to actually live this thing.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why are we in a situation where we've got Dominic Dijakovic being called T-Bar?
Yeah.
And what makes it even worse is, it's bad when you've got your own colleagues who are mocking you.
Teabag, Retrospective, Slapnuts, what are they called? Oh.
Retaliation.
Retribution. Retrospective, Reckoning, Rendezvous Point, Rebus. Board game. I don't know what the hell they're all called.
Fuck.
But, oh, Jesus.
And supposedly, they have considered bringing in new members. Rethink the name, for God's sake!
Genuinely?
What am I expecting? Here comes Rake! Followed by Duster.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the newest member of the faction Retribution, Jalapeno.
On a stick.
Because he's a spicy motherfucker.
I think that sounds better. What makes it even worse is a lot of people can sit there and say, well, they can't keep adding more members. Well, what makes it worse is they're in the realm of where they can't even add members to it. Additionally, even though they have got other members coming in to join in to the side. Why? Because, retaliation. Where we're seeing a group of a faction taking over another company, currently, right now, on mainstream TV.
Which, don't get me wrong, but Bruce Pritchard probably watched and then was like, do you think we'll get this past Vince? Vince doesn't watch that shit. We'll be fine.
I'm sitting here thinking to myself, is Bruce Pritchard genuinely looking at AEW and thinking, let's see what we can copy now? For fuck's sake.
He knows Vince doesn't watch AEW or look at the internet, so he knows he's pretty much safe to just rip off whatever. By the way,
go on.
Because of that, and because of the fact that it's a bit long-winded, this, but bear with me. Because of the fact that Tony Khan, who owns AEW, also owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham Football Club.
Yeah.
Which is a Premier League club based in London. And WWE likes to rip shit off. And in AEW, they have a wrestler called Luchasaurus, whose gimmick is he's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
How much and how long do you reckon the betting will be before the people at Arsenal, which is another football club based in London, get a knock on the door and somebody representing WWE goes, "How much do you want for the name Gunnosaurus?" With money. We're going to put him in a match.
Are you ready for this?
Billions.
You do realise that they actually had the Funkasaurus previously.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm surprised. No, I'm surprised that we haven't claimed that Fingosaurus isn't a rip-off of the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay.
Bearing in mind the Funkasaurus was a fat guy that danced, and Luchasaurus is like a full-on dinosaur.
I'm not. No. I am not discrediting Brodus Clay in any way. He was a good gimmick.
I'm not discrediting him. I am saying he was much like, as a good parallel to the members of Retribution, he was a stunning worker lumbered with a fucking shit gimmick. Can you see the theme developing here?
A bit like Lord Tenzin. I mean, Tenzai. Oh, good lord.
You mean A-Train? I mean, oh, fuck. I mean, Albert. I mean...
Shane's back!
Oh, yeah. Oh,
what is it?
It's
what
not
is
like WWE doesn't have a massive history of this shit.
Good lord.
But anyway.
And do you make it even worse? As well.
I dread to think how it could possibly be any worse. Go on.
You think with the villainous bad guys coming up the ranks, we're taking over. Who have they got against them?
Taking over. Hold on. No, they can't say that. Sorry, that's BWO copyrighted.
Which is actually ECW owned and actually technically WWE owned.
Ah, shit. Well, I tried. They'll probably use it next week now.
Yeah, you just give them the idea, you twat. But they own the copyright.
Anyway, your point being, you've just thought of how this whole shit show could actually be worse.
And it's going to segue into the next topic.
Good, because the sooner we abandon this absolute quagmire of bollocks,
oh,
the better.
No. It's sort of a bit of a transversion, but part submerger.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
With it.
You ready for this? Right,
no, but
we've got a serious villainous group coming in to take over the place. And who have they got against them? Battling against them on Raw? Contending against them? Even had their debut match against?
Might it possibly be a serious group of villains looking to take over Raw?
Huh? Now, why would that happen?
Have they basically pitched themselves against the team that you would think that would be basically fighting them only because, hey, that's our fucking idea. Back off.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it makes it worse. Who is it?
The other group in WWE with the second shittest name for a faction this
nope,
side.
I actually like the name of it. I'll fight you on that.
It's a wrestling faction called the Hurt Business. It's a little bit like setting up a group of football fan ultras called the Ball Kicking Business. Or you know,
keep it.
A group of radio enthusiasts called the Podcast Business. It's like, seriously, how unnecessarily obvious do you want it to be? You're in the business of dropping people on their head for a living. No.
True, but at the same time, in the simplicity of it, you know, keep it simple, stupid. Basically, I actually think it works.
Even Pritchard approves.
No, I actually think it works, and the way they carry themselves. But there's a slight problem.
The idea of the faction and the way they carry themselves is first rate. It's just...
The music's even good.
Name. Is it not just MVP's theme music?
No. They've actually got their own official theme music, which is brilliant.
Shame, because MVP's theme is one of my all-time favourite underrated theme tunes.
True, but I actually think this is actually just... I think this is actually better than using this.
So basically, what you're saying, the point that we're trying to make here, in a very typical us long-winded way, is group of heel bastards looking to take over the Raw and fight with anybody has picked their first fight with group of heel bastards looking to take over Raw and fight with anybody in complete contravention of logic.
Now, you think, when I first watched it, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, holy shit, I just turned the Hurt Business face.
And then you watch the actual match, and the answer to that was,
no. Watching the match, it looks like they're actually possibly having him work face in the match. However, that was all hindered because when they arrived, they came in to attack him, to push him back and fight him off, which didn't exactly help Retribution and the entire faction because they couldn't. Because there's, if I'm not mistaken, 5 members and their additional friends couldn't stop the fucking Hurt Business, which is 4 guys.
Yeah.
Right? Then they got their contracts and decided to have their first match against the Hurt Business. And to make it even worse, one member of the Hurt Business had a match earlier on already.
So they're a man down and one of them's already had a match, so he's knackered.
Right? Against, you ready for this? Already against, I believe it was, I'm just trying to think in my head. I believe it was against Apollo Crews in a losing effort.
So
where he's acting, wait, check this one out. Where they're beating the crap out of Apollo Crews and Ricochet like a heel fucking faction.
Yes.
To then, let's move on into the match. And later on, throw them into the match where you've got all 3 members of him. I think it was Shelton Benjamin was at ringside.
Possibly.
So hang on. So it's a 6-man tag. Why is Shelton Benjamin not wrestling?
It's a 6-man tag, but there's 4 men on one side and 5 on the other. Yeah, okay.
I think it was either Shelton Benjamin or MVP were on ringside. So basically, not all 3 members of the Hurt Business were in. So it's the guys, the male side of Retribution, T-Bar, my mistake. T-Bag, Slapnuts, and...
T-Bag, Slapnuts, and... What's the other one called?
Miss?
What? Oh, Mace. T-Bag, Slapnuts, and Tabasco sauce.
No.
Yes.
Not going with that. Anyway, or pepper spray.
Yeah, what's
pepper spray's better.
It's a food sauce that you put on your food to spice it up, made with peppers.
Anyway, point being is, what makes it even worse is the fact that you watch the match and all of a sudden it breaks down. I think Retribution got the win.
Officially, Hurt Locker won by disqualification.
Oh, that was that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was it. And it makes it even worse. My mistake. Hurt Business won, and how did that happen?
By disqualification.
More importantly, how did the disqualification happen?
Much I can't remember offhand. Go on, inform me.
Because the non-tag partner, who's at ringside, who's in the match, hit one of the legal guys on the opposite time, and the referee saw it once.
Yeah, you know how we don't play by the rules and everything, yeah? You ain't going to win many matches if you don't know the basic rules of wrestling, guys.
Wait. No. What I'm saying to you is, do you know when the referee when the tag partners on the ringside are attacking the individual in the ring and the referee sees it and he starts counting to 5?
Yes.
There was no fucking count. He touched him and the referee went, go.
So not only was it a rush job and a load of crap because it was heel versus heel, but the ending sucked. This faction is going so well.
Basically, WWE I've got a referee that didn't even know their own fucking rules.
Well, that doesn't fucking surprise me. They employed Dave Hebner for 20 years. But anyway...
And, oh wait, it gets worse.
How? How does it possibly get worse?
Because as that happens, they start brawling. The additional members of Retribution start coming in, crowding Hurt Business. Let's start attacking them.
All the ones who haven't even been graced with the names like Ballbag and Pepper Spray yet.
Yeah, pretty much. You ready for this?
Wow.
And guess what happened?
Let me guess, it was a Spirit Squad versus DX situation. The 4 members of Hurt Locker somehow beat 27 associate members of the Ballbag Squad.
No! Drew McIntyre come down with the rest of the locker room.
To side with who? In the fight
Hurt Business.
Heel Bastards versus Heel Bastards.
To side with the Hurt Business.
What?
To fight off Retribution. Because the Hurt Business were outnumbered.
Because the bastard heels were outnumbered by other bastard heels. A load of faces from the locker room came to help.
Technically, they weren't
heels.
the ones. They were actually trying to keep the bastard heels. Hurt Business were trying to keep Retribution out from taking over, even though they want to do it themselves. But still, they're actually siding with Raw.
But you can see, yes,
yeah.
We can
This is where the thought comes into play.
There's so many logic holes in this. You could use it as a fucking sieve.
So what makes it worse is, instead of having Retribution before the Hurt Business get to them, or before the entire Raw roster get to them, had them fucking vacate, which would have made more sense. Instead, an all-out war happens where they got fighted out. Drew looked strong for a minute, to then have Drew getting dropped.
Oh.
By Randy Orton.
See, by Randy Orton?
Yeah.
That well-known member of Foot Locker.
No, Randy Orton drops Drew McIntyre, by attacking him. Basically, what made it even worse is it's like, hang on, they're fighting against Retribution. Orton, I understand you want to do a cheap shot on Drew, and that's fine and dandy.
Randy, bigger things are afoot here, dickhead. Focus on the masked twats just for a second.
That's what I mean. What makes it even worse, we even had a rematch early on in the night. You know, Drew and the Glorious One. Bask in his glory.
Oh, bask in my glory, for I am stuck in the main card, mid card.
Oh no, he's out.
Out?
I think. You ready for this? Orton attacks Drew. As somehow the referee went down. Orton come in. Blatant in front of the referee. Drops Drew with an RKO. And while Mr. Bask in his glory is down on his hands and knees, to then get punted in the head.
So that's
by
it.
Randy Orton.
Yay, I'm great. I beat Randy Orton in my first pay-per-view. Oh no, I'm out injured.
What the fuck?
What the actual fuck?
Why do I get the feeling that they're going to go down the route of that, you know, he is going to be the leader of Retribution? I mean...
What? Randy?
No.
Keith Lee?
Yeah.
Because I think I jokingly called it about a month ago on this
I'm
very
actually
show.
going to
when
side
the
with you.
Retribution guys had all been shown and they were all skinny white guys, and I think I jokingly said, make Keith Lee the leader, because that makes bloody #wrestling logic sense.
And do you know why I'm going to argue this with you? I'm actually going to side with you. Because there's two people in that group that are actually friends with Keith Lee.
Yes.
One of them being Dominic Dijakovic, T-Bar.
One of them being Dominic T-Bagakovic, the leader.
And the female leader
is his wife.
Mia Reckoning Yim.
Yes.
Fuck!
So something I pulled out of my arse on the show about 4 to 6 weeks ago could end up happening. Hey, WWE Creative, all checks made payable to the Burning Truth, please. Thank you.
And there is one topic I've got to cover right now briefly.
we have to draw a line under this whole fiasco because we could rant all night, but frankly, we both have other things to do with our lives. There's a pay-per-view on later, so yeah, let's draw a line under that, and let's move on to your next subject.
The additional one that's only just popped into my head because it's something I've actually at first thought, what the fuck? But they could actually do something good with it now.
Do go on. You've got me completely hooked. I have no idea what you mean, but I'm sure you're about to inform me.
Raw Underground.
Raw Underground.
Yeah.
What in the blue hell is that?
Have you not been paying attention to it? It changed in the Dark Corvers room where they got strippers on poles, I think, and they're doing fights where there's no ropes or anything, and they're just basically doing a bit of MMA where, you know, you've either got, you don't pin them, you've got to either make them pass out, tap out, or knock them the fuck out.
Seriously? That's a thing?
Yeah.
And Timothy Thatcher is stuck on NXT? What is this company doing?
It's actually because
Matt Riddle is on SmackDown. What is this company doing?
Are you ready for this?
Go on.
They've had Keith Lee on there.
Yeah.
Not Keith Lee. I mean Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens, yeah.
They've had his rival recently.
Okay.
Aleister Black. Just don't call him fucking Tommy End.
Try not.
Yeah.
Dolph
Ziggler.
Oh God.
I know Dolph's looking pretty good.
He's just there to sit at the bar and look at the strippers. Surely. That's
who was Thingy's best mate? Was it Thingy Moss?
Who was whose best mate?
Mr. Hype Bro. Was it Riddick Moss?
Zack Ryder?
No, the one after.
Mojo Rawley.
Who was it? He ended up teaming with later with the new gimmick when he was 24/7 champ.
I genuinely don't recall. I've tried to have that scrubbed from my mind, like
was
I will.
Was it Riddick Moss or
something
something?
to do with Retribution? It could have been Riddick Moss.
Or something like that. Roderick Moss. But anyway, he's looking good on there. Okay. Building him up. And then they introduced a new guy in there. A big guy. Right? And they're building him up. Right?
Yeah.
And this is how handy it was. They built this guy up looking like a monster. Do you know how much of a monster? He manhandled Kevin Owens.
That takes some doing. Kevin Owens, not a small gentleman.
And also manhandled Tommy. I mean, Aleister Black.
Also manhandled Aleister Black. Okay, it doesn't take a huge amount of doing. Aleister Black, not the biggest guy stature-wise, but my God, if ever WWE have booked someone properly to be hard as nails, it's that guy.
Right?
Yes.
So straight away, that says to you, what are they doing? You know, that's good. That's working.
Seriously, yes, this is working.
Only on Raw Underground.
All right. Let me guess, on regular Raw, he's still a joke.
No, he's not. He only was on the KO show once this week. And Kevin Owens was saying to him, he's going to make him pay.
Is it someone from NXT?
No.
Someone from the main roster who's established, who is a large-ish person?
Nope.
Someone who is actually the size of Chad Gable, and you really wouldn't expect them to manhandle.
No. He's a big guy. His name is Dabba Kato.
Who?
Dabba Kato.
Is he that massive Chinese guy that they randomly signed and then did nothing with in NXT?
don't know.
The sort of Chinese Mansoor.
I'm not sure. I'll have to double check on that.
Well, anyway, they're booking him the right way, it would seem. On Raw Underground. Raw, how have they countered that and made him look silly? Go on, I can tell they have.
Oh no, they've absolutely crushed him on Raw Underground.
Oh, what? After all that good start, they've then royally pulled the rug out from under him just like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Did he lose to Chad Gable?
He lost to somebody.
I'm just trying to think. Hang on. Raw Underground, somebody really embarrassing and tiny and
No. Oh, no.
Drake Maverick?
No. Let's just say this. He has nothing to argue about losing.
All right, okay.
Especially for who he lost to.
All right, so he lost to a genuine competitor.
Oh, no shit.
It's not like he came out and got pinned in less than a minute by Drake Maverick or something completely credibility killing.
Nothing like that, no.
Okay, so he lost to a genuine competitor. Okay. Is it someone else whose name I won't have heard of, or is it an actual...
Yes, you will definitely have heard of him.
From NXT?
Definitely. No, on SmackDown.
SmackDown people reasonably large. And
Think of the biggest one. And not Big Show.
Did we briefly mention him earlier and his inability to fit inside Lamborghinis?
Yes.
Oh, okay then. No, that's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's not like...
Pause for a minute.
Yeah. I have paused.
SmackDown wrestler.
Yeah, what does that matter anymore? Seriously, does Vince care? Doesn't matter. Make it work. Don't make sense? Don't care. Just do it.
They were supposed meant to be
Money.
only
Think of the
3 per year or something, wasn't it? And now you got Braun Strowman peering up on Raw Underground every week.
Hang on.
Wait.
How does Raw Underground work? Is it a separate show? Is it just a segment within Raw?
It's a segment in Raw.
Oh, okay.
And what makes it even worse, remember the gimmick he had recently on SmackDown?
What, where he started to show a bit more influence of Bray Wyatt's influence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erased!
He what?
It's erased, that entire gimmick.
What, now he's just a fun-loving, big, bald bastard?
No, he's now just the big bastard keeps saying, "Get these hands!" and beating the fuck out of people. Like he did before.
You mean like the whole... Whatever
It's
the show
almost like
the whole thing with like the whole thing with Bray Wyatt basically never happened.
Pretty much.
Okay. Whatever, WWE.
And you know,
right, time is getting away from us as always.
And it makes it even worse.
What?
What is that going to be their explanation?
He had amnesia?
No, because Bray Wyatt has turned his focus on somebody else.
The big dude who he was beating up on Raw Underground.
No. Bray Wyatt has actually possessed somebody else now.
Oh, yeah. The
On
about
SmackDown.
5 foot nothing of blonde, sparkle splashiness.
However, and this is going to be hurt. This is going to hurt Bray Wyatt massively.
What, more than the booking has generally in the last 8 years?
Yeah, especially when you've got Alexa Bliss doing a better Sister Abigail than Bray Wyatt.
Oh, what, you mean one where the person who in question's head actually hits the mat?
And the person she did it on this week made it look legitimately like, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it.
Wow. There you go.
And I guarantee you, Kurt will tell you when I mention who it is.
Is it someone who I've previously mocked the work of on this particular broadcast?
Yes.
Who I may have insinuated's middle name might very well be fucking.
Possibly.
And who might possibly have been pushed all the way into the title picture approximately 9.5 years too soon.
Yes.
And whose name might possibly rhyme with Basie Schmevens.
Yes.
Oh, good God.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss suddenly turned when they turned the lights down, had the red light come on, the noise coming on. She turned into aggressive. Lacey Evans won due to disqualification because Alexa Bliss unleashed the damn wrath of whatever the hell, and then pretty much just dropped Lacey with the Sister Abigail, kiss included.
Of course.
And got in the ring and started laughing almost like Bray Wyatt, and it looked sinister as fuck. And, who called this?
Who called this?
Who called something like this that should be turning heel?
Does this person's name rhyme with Batman's?
Pretty much.
Yeah, figured it. Hey, listen. Wrestling Nostradamus is us. I called Keith Lee being the leader of Retribution as a joke, but it still might happen. You called this. This is starting to get serious. I'm going to start being serious about WWE sending us some royalty checks for writing their product here.
Oh, well, it is getting a bit worrying.
Yeah.
It is getting a bit worrying, but anyway.
Yeah, we need to... I like the fact that they've turned Alexa Bliss into a sort of...
Demented?
Cross between Bray Wyatt and Festus.
But instead of it being a bell ring that changes it, it's the Fiend's music.
Exactly. I quite like it. The thing is, if anyone can pull it off and make it work, it's Little Miss Bliss.
However, I feel sorry for somebody on SmackDown.
That doesn't narrow it down much. Give me a clue.
She's in the women's SmackDown Championship match.
Would that be the former tag team partner of Little Miss Bliss?
Yeah.
It's
almost like
dumped.
Pretty much been dumped, and almost like it's if her entire gimmick's been transferred over to Alexa Bliss.
What, her entire NXT gimmick of being
the crazy
on the crazy side?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but yeah. Anyway, hey, time has massively got away from us. We were doing really well for time, and then we've done.
I'm just going to say this: are they actually
rant.
switching the fact that Alexa Bliss's cariness has gone into Nikki, into Nikki,
what,
and
so
Nikki's
now
craziness?
kind caring, and Alexa's crazy because they've done some kind of mind swap thing.
Yeah, pretty much, or something like that.
Don't give them ideas. You know how good they are for taking ours already.
Yeah. But anyway,
Nikki's going to start wearing glitter-covered clothes and do a sparkle splash as a finisher.
Oh my god! Are we actually going to see Nikki Cross try to come down as a certain DC theme comic?
I'd love to see it.
I
don't know if WWE will want to pay for the permission to use it, but I'd love to see it.
Or something similar.
Yeah, or something. Well, no, to be fair, we've had, Rey Mysterio as various comic book characters at WrestleMania. We've had other, like Johnny Gargano and his Iron Man gear and stuff. So
and we've had Alexa Bliss doing Quinn.
Yeah. Oh, and basically all WWE can seem to think of for Tegan Nox to do is basically be Captain Marvel in shiny spandex. So it is entirely possible.
Just good lord. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, but time is getting away from us. We have a couple more things to discuss. So let's draw a line under this whole us booking WWE for them topic.
Two things.
What was next on the list?
Epic wrestling moments.
Ah, yes. This one's a good one. Because this fits the bill. It was a wrestling moment. And it was effing epic.
And when we say moment, we don't just mean a moment. We mean an entire damn match.
Yeah.
What a match. And in case anybody wants to know what match it is, this is the infamous double turn in WWE.
Yes.
Was it the first one?
I believe it was the first high-profile one.
Yeah. First high-profile one.
From the Rosemont Horizon in the Chicago suburb of Rosemont, Illinois.
Yeah.
On March the 23rd, 1997. WrestleMania 13, ladies and gentlemen.
which some might consider unlucky.
Some may consider unlucky, and some who watched it live and had to put up with the main event of Undertaker against Psycho Sid may very well have underlined that theory ever so slightly, but that's not what we're talking about here.
The match that we're on about, which was Match of the Night, pits Steve Austin against Bret the Hitman Hart with a special guest referee, Ken Shamrock, and if I'm not mistaken, was it an I Quit match?
It was a submission match.
Was it a submission match?
It was. According to the Wikipedia page, it was a submission match.
And weird thing about it is, a lot of people were probably going to go into this. Why would Austin go into a submission match against Bret the Hitman Hart?
Why would Steve Austin, a man famed for having -1 submission moves, go into a submission match against...
He does have one.
Sharpshooter Bret Hart.
He does have a submission now.
Steve Austin has a submission move.
$1 Million Dream.
Yeah, but since he decided that being the ringmaster would be career suicide, when have you ever known him use it?
I've seen him use it. He has used it, but not won with it.
Well, exactly. That's the point. And anyway, that's the point. The point is one move that he was given from the person who his original manager was versus the excellence of execution, the man of 1,000 finishers.
You know, the man who locks in a sharpshooter.
The best there was, the best there ever will be.
The man who locks in a sharpshooter and you are done.
Yes.
Normally.
So, yeah, what you're thinking, why would he do that? But he did, and it went quite well for both parties.
Because a lot of people listening are thinking to themselves, how can we do this match?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, with the whole situation, what was the end result officially down as?
The end result officially down as Bret Hart defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Now, some people could turn around and argue that that didn't happen.
Well, that's not the official... You know, that's the bald statistics of what will go down in the record books, but those who've actually watched it will say there's a little bit more to it than that.
Pretty much, because if I'm not mistaken, I thought it was originally an I Quit match.
It was a submission match, because if I remember correctly, the reason that Bret won was usual... That's not technically the stipulation, because he didn't technically submit, kind of WWE grey area of... Stone Cold Steve Austin, whose entire face was red
with crimson
from a cut earlier in the match, basically passed out rather than actually admitting that he would tap out to the sharpshooter.
Pretty much, and you had got Ken Shamrock who called it.
Yes.
Now, the weird thing about this match was it's the one with the infamous double turn. It's one where you see Bret go from "I'm the nice guy"
to "You know what? Look,
I've
being
had
the nice
enough of
guys
him.
Got me. Screw you guys." And
no, screw you, Austin.
Yeah.
It was the fact that Austin had angered Bret that much that Bret had basically just thought, screw it. I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
I've had enough of you. And Austin going from, literally ripping into Bret Hart every week, which is villainous, but then showing his grit and teeth by not tapping out and passing out, shows how determined he is, which is a good quality.
Determination.
And the match itself was absolute, as JR would call it, a slobber knocker, balls to the walls, and is a match
slobber knocker of awesomeness, and it was match of the night for a damn good reason.
Well, by our standards, I would say, definitely.
Well, I'm saying that in the context of the Burning Truth. Yes, it was the match of the night.
Definitely. But,
so yeah, if you've never watched WrestleMania 13, if you're maybe someone who was born after it went out, unlike us old bastards, rivaling bloody Keith Myatt here, us. Terrible.
No, we're not.
Okay, no, we're not, but way to shatter the illusion. Anyway, point being, if it happened before you were born or when you were very small, but you are a fan and a student of WWE and you enjoy the history...
Hang on, stop there you go. Keith's not that old.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we're nearly as old as him, because he's not that old. I was trying to pay him a compliment. He might call himself an old bastard, but that's wrestling exaggeration.
That's fine.
But
anyway,
you completely missed the point.
Let's continue.
Yeah, and the other point I was trying to make is, if you've never watched it, watch WrestleMania 13. But in fact, watch all the WrestleManias. Sit and watch every single one from about 1 to 20, because that's an average of 3 hours each before they start getting bloated and messy.
And where can we watch this?
Yours exclusively, and as many times as you want, on the WWE Network, all for just $9.99.
Checks available to the Ben and Truth.
Damn right.
Anyway, highly recommend it. But more than just showing that, I know on a future episode what might be an interesting topic to discuss is series on the WWE Network. Could that be a discussion?
Series, as in things that WWE are doing or could do?
Or have already done on the network?
Oh, like not necessarily in-ring wrestling stuff.
Recommendations?
Yes, that would be a good future topic, definitely.
But anyway. Seeing as we just
quiet news week, but yeah, for the time being, we need to crack on. But that is our epic moment of the week: WrestleMania 13 submission match, Stone Cold versus Bret Hart, and now a change of gear.
Yeah, definitely a change of gear. Seeing as we're now going to be talking about the future of the Burning Truth.
The future? No, not Joey the Future Matthews.
And ladies and gentlemen, let me just put this record to the straight. The Burning Truth is not going anywhere.
It will continue for the foreseeable future. Just in case anyone's wondering at this point, yes, lockdown is being enforced. We are, through the powers of technology, recording this every week from our own very separate locations. Live and uninterrupted. Me from a one-bedroom hovel in the east of England, and Matt Burns from his Midlands mansion, East Wing.
I wish. I wish it was a mansion.
Well, anyway, I'm doing it in, like I said, the one-bedroom bedsit, the bedroom for which is the size, roughly, of a shoebox. And
but anyway,
I can barely afford to keep the heating on.
Anyway, let's just get down to business. A lot of people are saying, why are we having this discussion? Well,
yes,
we are having this discussion because we understand that from time to time with the Burning Truth, we don't want to be... We have mentioned previously on episodes that we don't want to be doing news chasing. And yet we somehow keep crawling back into it. Somehow.
We do. And it's an aspect of... yes, lots of news keeps happening, and yes, it's professional wrestling, which we love, and yes, we keep finding ourselves falling back into it, but it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever read any interviews with Harry Hill about how he now dreads watching television, but finds that for 40-odd hours a week, he has to make his TV shows about it. And it's taken quite a lot of the fun out of it for him because, it's no longer a job, it's become a slog.
Let me just state this to you. In no way points are we actually stating the same either.
No, we're not saying this. I'm just using that as a reference point. It's the news chasing aspect has become a bit of a... It's just like, oh, let's react to this. Oh, let's react to this. Oh, let's react. Oh, let's try and be positive. How can we? We've got to talk about Retribution. Get the soapbox on standby. And it's not that we don't enjoy it. It's just that, as established by... when one of us isn't here for a week, or like last week when we couldn't even do an episode, we have busy lives outside of doing this, and it's just getting a bit much.
But anyway, there is going to be episodes where we're not going to be news chasing. We are going to be covering topics, and on top of that, on that discussion, we're not just going to be just covering wrestling.
Yes, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We're not abandoning wrestling. It will still be the core of what we do.
We just may have additional subjects.
Every now and again, a computer game that we've reviewed, a TV series that we like, something that's happened in the outside sporting world, as alluded to today with the Spurs result. And I didn't mention the Formula One either, but #Hamilton was screwed. But yeah, we're just going to be talking a little bit about things outside of wrestling as well.
Pretty much.
Because there's a whole wide world out there of interests, which we both have, which I think, with the possible exception of football, don't even really overlap, but we don't cover them, and we'd like to start.
And if you think we should not do it, let us know. If you think we should, why not? Let's hear what your thoughts are.
Yay or nay on all of the Burning Truth social medias. Get in touch. Let us know. Should we not? We value your opinion. If we get 100% reaction of, oh, but you guys are like the voices of wrestling. How dare you talk about anything else and dilute the wrestling content? Then we might reconsider. But your opinion counts is where I'm going with that.
Yeah. If you want to hear more topics and hear our ramble rants or whatever you want to call them,
here are carefully scripted irreverence and soon-to-be award-winning nonchalance about a wider range of topics.
Even though we don't actually have a script, somehow.
Yeah, believe it or not, folks, no pre-planning goes into this show.
Other than,
I think, curtain much.
I think, well, we sort of have a bit of pre-planning because we just think, sort out topics.
There, we literally spend 10 minutes working out the basics of what we're going to talk about and in what order. But beyond that, it's kind of a case of...
Wing it!
Wing it! What's my crazy, messed up spider's web of a mind going to make me think of today when
When who?
When King Corbin does something stupid.
Pretty much. There we go.
Or when the leader of Retribution is called Ballbag. Saved it. Move on.
Good recovery. I'll give you that.
It's like we have a brief plan, but as you can tell, yeah.
This is...
Believe it or not, we didn't sit there and go, JB makes cock up 53-47. Matt Burns laughs 53-52 for 5 seconds. No, we don't plan it that deep. We really don't.
Lord. That was hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. But anyway.
And like I said, that is the reason why soon to be award winning. As soon as we find an award category that we can be the only nominees in.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know there is some past episodes of the TBT interviews due to that meant to be getting aired. I will need to get them checked out with the people who did the interviews with to see if they're still the same or if they're okay to go out. I will get them checked out first, and as such, there could be some
TBT legal team as well, just to make sure that there's no subjects which, due to the passing of time and recent incidents, we might have to remove from said interviews. Yep.
But anyway, the point being is, we're going to be getting them discussions, hopefully getting some of them out. There is plans to get some interviews done for the future, just to point out as well, But at the moment, there is no rush for it. But at the moment, it has been a little bit tough trying to focus on the interviews at the moment. It's just trying to keep a stable mind in regards to it. But hopefully, we should have some coming out soon in future. But as for when, you'll have to bear with me while I get that sort of arranged. But that aside, I believe that will be it for this week for the current events. Topics for next week are going to be most likely the fallout of Clash of Champions. And oh boy.
The fallout of Clash of Champions, what we thought of the event, how well we did with the predictions. Soapbox will be on standby, you know the drill.
Oh, unless, if T-Bar suddenly makes an appearance, for fuck's sake.
Teabag.
Teabag.
Stop until you accidentally call him Teabag.
Teabag, pepper spray.
Teabag. What's it? No, not pepper spray. What's it? Tabasco. That's the one. They sound. All of a sudden, we're trying to make them sound like members of 90s band TLC.
For God's sake. But anyway.
Teabag, Tabasco, Retrospection, Slapnuts, and the other one, to give them their official titles.
That makes it worse. You just lose the plot. But anyway, we digress.
Officially, the other one is called The Other One now, because I genuinely don't care.
Just the other one.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, I am going to be stating this.
Wrestler, you there?
I'm going to have to push on and just state, ladies and gentlemen, the plugs are going to be done a little bit differently starting from now on. I recommend you check out UK Way. Of course, that's a bit of a self-plug, as I'm the UK Way owner. As such,
commentator, so I'd like you to recommend to check them out too on my behalf.
We'll want you to check out.
I'm available for commentary for wrestling shows.
Of course,
self-plug for me there.
And of course, we'd also recommend you check out charitable organisations like Change of Health and Wellbeing, Change of Recovery Radio, Mind, Message for Mind, and Donald Louise Hospice Care for Children and Young People, and Cancer Research UK. We, of course, also recommend you check out the lighter side of professional wrestling, be it either Botchamania, You're Welcome Matthew, WrestleCrap.
Nice one, RD.
And of course, OSW Review. We recommend you check out many of the colleagues who are also broadcasters as well. But we'll most likely cover them by sharing them out on our social media and many of the other pages that we normally cover. We, of course, also recommend you check out Turnbuckle TV, as always.
Howard 4 TV.
As I was about to say, because you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Damn. Right. Turnbuckle TV / Powered 4 TV, as they are building up even more. We, of course, recommend check out Kayfabe Music because they do amazing work. And also check out local wrestling promotion shows, be it, SCW, United Wrestling, Pro Wrestling View, Future Shock Wrestling, Academy Pro Wrestling, Fallen Star Wrestling, Venom Wrestling Federation, Slam Wrestling, Wolfen Pro Wrestling, and many, many, many more. And there is an app for any that we've missed, which is Babyface Wrestling app. And I'm going to push this one right now, if anybody is interested in learning to wrestle.
Babyface Wrestling app is free, by the way. I just thought I'd drop that in case you're a bit reluctant. Free.
That it is. But if anybody else is interested in learning to wrestle and wants to know some wrestling schools, I can recommend 2 wrestling schools, highly recommended for the burning, from the Burning Truth. Be it either Academy Pro Wrestling or the Barracks Wrestling.
I can name a couple of others: Manchester Pro Wrestling Academy. Possibly. Oh, I've annoyed the Burns.
No. I'll just state this. Barracks.
Hang on. How does that work? Is that the official training school for Future Shock Wrestling? Because if it's not, that's the one I want to mention. The Future Shock one.
Mention Future Shock Wrestling.
Future Shock Wrestling Training School. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Go on the Future Shock website to find the details of that.
Essentially, I would recommend the Academy Pro Wrestling and Barracks, and of course Barracks Wrestling Academy, of course, as well. Who also do shows as well. I highly recommend them as well. And also, of course, check out the Burning Truth website, which is www.theburningtruthuk.com. We'll just state for the record on the website, external links we cannot be held responsible for, as we have no control over them. We are, of course, on social media, be it either Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You can listen to past episodes either through the website, Spreaker, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Deezer, and any other available podcast sources.
Indeed.
And of course, that's going to be a wrap up for this week. And moving on for the mental health message, as we've always stated, we hope you all keep an eye on your own mental health and don't be afraid to ask for help. It is not a weakness, and you will find out that the people who are around you, who are there for you, be it either friends, family, or even colleagues, are there to support you. Not just to be there for you in the need of a certain crisis, but also for your mental health as well. They will be there to defend you to the hilt.
Absolutely.
Genuinely. And of course, never compare your behind the scenes to other people's greatest hits. Quoted by Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. Make yourself a priority once in a while. It's not selfish, it's necessary. And last but not least, if you can be anything in this world, be one thing. Be kind.
Oh, damn, you got it in before I said, don't be a dick.
And that too.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Want progress?
I like that one. But anyway, with all that being said, thank you for listening to The Burning Truth.
We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it, and we all highly recommend you all to, stay well, stay safe, and, hopefully give a call out to, and check out your local wrestling promotions, be through the social media, and of course do send out calls to your family, friends, and loved ones, and anyone you haven't spoken to in a while, because that one call could actually help them out in a massive, massive way.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we all hope you stay well, and we'll catch you at the next episode. But until then, I've been Matt Burns.
I've been John Bloor.
It has been emotional. We'll catch you next week on The Burning Truth Live.
Thanks for listening, and good night.